Let me start just by showing, just in case anybody else ever needs to see this, if they open up their HOLMES MPR. This is what it looks like an overhead, in case you need to see things. And here's a little bit closer up. Hope you can see all that, in case you need to look at things. Let me just say that I don't know if this is all the original components. I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. I mean, I'm guessing it is. This was not sounding right. It was having a lot of crackle and breakup. Let me tell you what I ended up finding out. This part right here, it's got this heat shield around it. It's got this little square, like a microchip of some kind. It's got 3 prongs that go into the PC, into the board, this brown board. The middle one was, I couldn't see. It was broken. The connection wasn't there. So, and I barely saw that right now. So once I pushed this down a little bit enough for them to make contact, it made a tremendous difference for sure. Or not tremendous, but it made a difference in the sound. So that's one thing that I just had not seen, that it was broken there in the middle. So another thing that's helped the sound is, the greatest importance was the coil wire to the speaker. The coil speaker wire that comes up and connects behind to this right here inside of this component was barely hanging on by a thread, so to speak. I did not realize how loose that was, and so I actually had to get a piece of copper wiring and attach it and just give it a better contact until I can solder it, and that made probably the biggest difference in the sound. So for sure, the loose coil wire from the speaker to this connection was an issue, which I didn't know. That's not a typical thing people usually talk about, but I was just able to find that out by just poking around. Then, like I said, this had and I still need to solder it. The one in the middle was not connected. It was broken. I cleaned up all the electronics with electronic contact spray, and so that also has helped. But that's probably like that was the simple thing. That wasn't the biggest issue. Let me say also that this MPR, HOLMES MPR, if you notice, it says selective gain, and it has high and low. And this first knob is gain. And it's a very integral part of your volume for this amp. A little goes a long way. Right now, you see I have it like almost to the 2, which actually isn't even really giving it much gain at that point. Once you get around 3, it just really, the volume shoots up considerably. And then you have your master knob is this first one right here is the master volume. From what I can tell about this amp with a 12-inch, that's the original speaker. This amp, HOLMES MPR, apparently, I guess it seems to be made for what was, I don't know what year it came out, 70s, maybe early 80s, for gain. It really, you really don't get a really good, as far as I can tell, because I couldn't find anybody that put a sound video, but you really don't get much of a clean sound out of this amp. I guess it was made for gain. So if anybody knows any different, let me know. If you have a video where you can play it and it's sounding really clean, that would be interesting to me, because on this gain knob, like I say, I can turn it all the way down and I'll still get volume with the master all the way up, and that's about as clean as it sounds. But it's not how we think about clean sounds in most other amps. And like I said, even at that, with the master all the way up and the gain all the way down, it's not a very loud sound. And once you start turning this gain knob, that's where everything just totally changes in terms of the actual volume. It really, really, I mean, I'm not saying it's a very outrageously loud amp. I'm just saying once you get to about 3 and 4 right there, what I just did, that's where all the volume starts to really come out. And you really hear what I would call overdrive kind of sound, basically. So yeah, my guess is when it just tells you here selective gain, and it's got 2, and then one of the, these first knobs is the gain itself. As you can see, it's all hooked up. Look at the wiring right here. From the jacks, goes right into this first knob is the gain, straight from the input jacks. So I guess that's what this 12-inch, the cab itself is it's pretty tall. I'm gonna guess 3 feet tall. And this Holmes head, got my Jesse James West Coast Chopper's bicycle back there. I need to fix both tubes. That's a different video for a different time. So this head, slides right into here. Goes right into here. So that's my update. In case you missed one other video I think I made, I just couldn't get this amp to sound good. It just wasn't sounding good when I got it. And it's taken me quite a while, because I'm not an amp person per se to be able to, I just know like the bare bones minimal stuff. So whenever I've had time over the last weeks, I've just tried to read and poke around and prod, and with all of that combined, I've been able to get it, I guess, to where I'm able to hear what it's originally supposed to sound like now. I was able to plug it in earlier, and I guess this is what it was really supposed to sound like, because with all the different noise and stuff not connected right, I was never getting, and I knew it couldn't be sounding the way I was hearing it. One last thing is, I added this, you could see in there, back there, this extra 1/4-inch jack. I'll show you on this other side. See these two, the red and white wire coming up here. This is this connection here that is a speaker cable. That's a speaker cable, not an instrument cable. It's a speaker cable going into this. I drilled the hole and made this, and I'm able to plug in a different head or whatever and run it through this speaker. Speaker doesn't sound great. It's the original speaker. To me, it doesn't. It's all right. It's nothing special. I'm actually gonna I'm considering getting on local Facebook Market. Someone's selling a speaker that I'm interested in, that I'm gonna just, it's such a low price for it, I'm just gonna get it and swap it out just to see the sound difference. But there it is. I got one answer online when I tried to ask somebody some questions, and one guy told me that this amp was made to run the sound to the speaker out of this headphone jack. This is the headphone jack. And these wires, the yellow and white one, this thin one, is coming out of the headphone jack. Not obviously the way you're seeing it running now. It actually runs from inside once I put it back together. But it comes down into the speaker. Believe it or not, the way this amp was made, that's where it gets the power from the board to the headphone jack to the freaking speaker itself. It's weird. Very weird. So there it is.